Expertise, along with the biggest names talking Nebraska sports. Join in with the show at 402-489-1240 or 1-800-825-5865. Now, here are your hosts, Chris Schmidt and Elijah Herbal.
Welcome to it Mondays here at Hail Varsity. We're powered by Cornhead Lager, Chris Schmidt, Connor Clark, Elijah still on his Colorado adventure. We don't know, can't confirm if he's just going to wear last year's Denver Wilson jersey or if he's going to buy the new /throwback Denver 2024 Wilson jersey. Hope you had a good weekend. Plenty to talk about. How did Saturday go? Glowing from Matt Rule. We'll have a Rule rewind coming up here on today's show. We'll hear from the head coach from Saturday's comments. Husker baseball, a winning weekend. Good for the Big Red as they down Maryland emphatically yesterday. Part of the Husker radio team, David Gustafson, dear friend and former partner, going to join us here in about 15 minutes to talk some Husker baseball. Mr. Blackshirt, Charlie McBride, in hour two to get us kicked off. We'll talk third down defense, a topic of discussion per Matt Rule. And get Uncle Charlie's thoughts. Jay Moore, it is NFL draft week. Mr. Moore heard his name in the fourth round just a few years back. So Blackshirt Jay Moore with us in hour two. Plenty of room for you. If you want to join at 489-1240, 489-1240, 800-825-5865 across the Hail Varsity Radio Network. Always watch the show. Catch us on the YouTube channel, Hail Varsity YouTube channel. Like and subscribe there, and different platforms as well, Facebook and Twitter, Hail Varsity Radio Twitter handle. Give that a follow at HVarsity Radio, at Schmidt_radio for me, Chris Schmidt, at C_Clark_27 for one Connor Clark as he is counting down. He's about to get paroled into the real world and off to pro baseball. Connor, how was the weekend? Any day parties? Lots of studying, final projects. How did you handle yourself?
It was pretty good. I would say definitely no day parties. It wasn't warm enough for that. But I went to the baseball game on Friday night, and that was fun. It was pretty crowded, despite it being a little bit cloudy, a little bit chilly. But it is what it is. You definitely experienced worse. So that was a good time. I got to see a lot of people on Saturday night, too, and just kind of hung out, started digging into the never-ending black hole that is Salt Dog player bios for the 75-page media guide. That will be available prior to opening day. So there's a lot of work to be done before May 10th, and I'm going to blink, and it's going to be here. So we're just kind of taking it. I don't even want to say day by day. I'm going to say more so hour by hour.
Say it. Say day by day.
But the weekend was good. It was relaxing and ready for another very busy 5 days probably.
Should be good. Programming note, we are on the road Thursday. We're at the Single Barrel in the Graduate 9th and P. Come see us. Come say what's up. Roadshow Thursday 4 to 6. And then pregame, getting you ready for the spring game back at the Single Barrel from 10 to 8. 10 to 8 Saturday morning. Live road show. Excited to be down there again with our dear friends at the Single Barrel. Amazing steaks and whiskey and all sorts of good eats and a great atmosphere. So check us out Thursday and on Saturday morning. Make sure you get up to the Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill Friday. 5:30 is when things get kicked off for the Team Jack event. Amir Abdullah, Kenny Bell, Nate Gary, awesome dudes. Loving to be a part of Team Jack, and they will be there for you. So get your tickets purchased that way. All proceeds go to Team Jack, and that is a Friday must-do for you up at the Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill at 5:30. Email Chris at hailvarsity.com. We survived prom.
I was going to ask about that.
Junior's prom. So Junior's prom was fun. He went to a country club that we are not members of. He still got reservations somehow, and had dinner with his buddies, their dates, met his date and her mom, awesome folks. And long and short of it, Junior thought it would be a great idea to gather his buddies and the dates for a picture, right? You want individual pictures and you want a group picture, and every mom and dad are out there snapping photos on the old digital phone. And what happens? Well, Junior didn't do the math that people are playing. People are golfing in mid-50-degree cloud over days at this course because it's incredible.
First of all, respect to those people.
They are. Well, Junior gets out there and everyone's taking pictures, and it's not a 5-minute drive-through car wash picture show.
No.
It lingers. It gathers. As we were walking down to this location over the water where it's safe, where I never land off the tee box, I could hear when we started walking down, the outdoor speakers had Stairway to Heaven playing. Led Zeppelin classic, 7 minutes, 46 seconds. Let's just say they were probably on When the Levee Breaks, if we're doing album rock. And where Zeppelin starts with Stairway. It's track 4. All right. It's a 7-minute wonderful rendition. You know it, I hope. But then you get to When the Levee Breaks and you're coming back up after pictures. That's damn near 40 minutes. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but the point is
I believe you.
You have, I'll say this, Coach Hurrdat was wonderful, but he was on the box. So he zooms up at his golf cart, and I'm like, oh no. And he's got shades on because you know how intense Hurrdat can be. Kind of nods approvingly and then just speeds off to the clubhouse. But I think Junior and his buddies kept the mayor, Hoiberg, from teeing off.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it was stacked. You had Hurrdat and then you had Fred. So it's like, hurry the hell up, Junior.
I wonder what it feels like to get hit by a Fred Hoiberg driven golf ball. Probably not great.
I would have hit. I couldn't have made it that far. I can't tee off well. But there are some folks that would have dispersed the picture taking with the tee shot, the warning shot, so to speak.
Yeah.
So
I saw them on Facebook. Look great.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. Happy for him. He needs to learn how to hang his suit up. It's crumpled up in the mudroom. And we got into a little argument because I wasn't really about giving him a curfew. He's earned some trust from me.
Yeah.
And of course, Mama Bear's like, no, he needs a curfew. It's like, he's going to blow through it anyway. And then we're going to end up grounded him.
Yeah.
So he got home around 4
prom night.
It is.
Just let him go.
Just let him go. You need bail money, you call me, not your mother.
Yeah.
Let's get into the starting 5. The first 5 into the StreamYard. We shout out. Appreciate you all tuning in on the network and on the Hail Varsity YouTube channel. Mr. Snitley, Jeff Snitley, in part of the Boulder Peace Treaty. He is in. Roger checks in. And Roger promptly says Colorado has broken the transfer portal. Ralphie is next. Black Hills Brennan is here. Matthew says, what's up? KG in, just KG, but not that KG from the NBA. He is in 4th. So good to have you. You've got Brandon checking in. Brent is here. Patrick, Shane, Husker Nutter 91. Good to have you. He says, howdy, y'all. And NASCAR Eric says, what's up? Anonymous is in.
Still waiting for the howdy nerds.
Well, we'll get from Moonbot here briefly. I think Anonymous says when the levee breaks is only 8 minutes. I know. But if they're playing Zeppelin 4 from Stairway, that's track 4 to track 8, which is when the levee breaks.
Mm-hmm.
You do the 7 minutes, you do Misty Mountain Hop, you do going to California. And then I think you get to when the levee breaks. So that's well over 36 minutes of music, I believe. Hold my tux jacket. I need to hit some shots back. Thank you, Roger. Ascent says, what's up? What's up? So, and Scott says, if we die, we die. So Scott's all about getting onto the golf course and taking prom pics. That's pretty good. Oh, I like it.
That motto has been used for so many other things than football.
It's so good.
It's fantastic.
It's so good. And then you get the sound bite. So we'll dive in. How did the spring session go? You can take Rule's word for it, and that's most important. Again, making a few calls to folks. Anonymous did the math, 32 minutes from Stairway to when the levee breaks. So I was a little over, but it's still Anonymous. If we're holding up Erstad and Hoiberg taking tee shots, that's too long. That's 5 minutes too long.
Yeah.
Before security/clubhouse may be called. Things worked out okay. It was a good night for Junior and his buddies and their dates. So when we talk Nebraska football, I think it's fair to say Saturday was Dealin's day. Dealin Raiola.
Sure looked like it based on that video.
Sure. And if you want to pull up the offense, the comment here from Rule, let's give you a little context from Matt Rule on Saturday. And, he's not one to throw out pats on the back just all the time. He's pretty measured and pretty real with his praise. But here is Rule on just how good a day it was for the offense. Didn't really single out any quarterbacks. They all performed well, but some of the information we have on what Dealin did, we'll tell you in a second. But here's Rule on the offense.
Yeah, I mean, this was the most dominant day we've had on offense ever. I mean, this is the first time we've ever at practice. I mean, the first time ever, like, I don't know, might have been 8, 9, 10, 12 touchdowns out there today. So explosive plays, big plays. I think we had one fumble late, with the threes. But I thought the ball was protected. Now, in all fairness, we're not hitting the quarterback, and I'm letting a lot of plays extend. So we might go back and say, well, that would have been a sack. I don't want to sound the alarm. It's just, the ability to throw and catch the ball, and guys making plays after the catch has been good. We didn't run the ball. We had one long explosive run, but on offense, by far the best day we've ever had since I've been here.
So that is fact. That is what he saw. That's what he took in. And you can go, awesome. Nebraska's closer steps to complimentary football, Connor. Or, oh no, what's wrong with the defense? Brother, I think you look at it this way. It's the offense doing things. And I'll shut up in 2 seconds. Those that saw continue to reiterate that Dealin Raiola, extremely impressive, a quarterback that Nebraska's not had, right? There was a little Mahomes tribute, an underhand throw on a extended scramble in the red zone that Nair caught for a touchdown, and it was broken plays. It was Raiola on the move, under pressure, extending plays, one of which turned into an 80-yard touchdown to Lloyd.
Yeah.
So it's your stud-armed quarterback that's bigger than a lot of freshmen that are playing quarterback, that's on the move, that's making plays. And on top of that, Nebraska's emphasis this spring with Glenn Thomas has been that short and intermediate route. What did Rule talk about with third downs, which we'll get into? Can you D somebody up on third and medium? Or do you wear the hell out of a defense on third and medium because they have no answer with your bunch routes or your short game? If you don't want to run the football, or you want to throw as a extension of your run game, the short passing game, Nebraska, at least based on a Saturday scrimmage, has a guy in Dealin Raiola that can complete the short, can complete the intermediate, and absolutely kept plays alive, 0 turnovers, with the extended play for an 80-yard touchdown, and in a red zone fire drill goes Mahomes with an underhand and scores a touchdown. It's music to Nebraska fans' ears in this instance that, listen, you're taking steps to being a football team that can rely on an offense if this continues to blossom, while you have a rock-solid defense, and you put that together with some competent special teams play, the good things can and will happen. That's been a formula for success at Nebraska for years. Killer defense, just explosive, and quite honestly, competent offense that is consistent That's good things. That's good things for the fall if this carries over.
I'm really excited to see, and you mentioned the broken plays. Now, obviously, I didn't watch the scrimmage because it was closed, but the broken plays that we've seen from quarterbacks and how they've gotten out of it over the last handful of years. You think of Adrian, you even think of Jeff Sims a couple of times last year.
You're right.
It's all been with the legs. Yes. I'm excited to see. We all know Dylan Raiola has a big arm, and you kind of got a glimpse of it in some of the practice clips from a couple of weeks ago. You got it in a couple of clips from this past scrimmage and that little edit that they put together. You mentioned that 80-yard touchdown to Jalen Lloyd. I'm really excited to see what that looks like because, again, we all know that Dylan can sling it down the field. And honestly, we know that Caitlin can kind of sling it too down the field as well from what we've seen. So I'm excited to see that. What can that bring to the offense? Because, again, I mean, Adrian was an escape artist with his legs. Jeff Sims had a huge escape artist touchdown in Boulder with his legs. So I'm really excited to see if Dylan can do that. Now, obviously, I want him to be able to run, but if he can escape things with his arm, that could open up a lot, I think, in this offense and kind of leave everybody, especially in that box area, guessing about, okay, they're going to go to the air. He's going to scramble. How are we going to stop this? It's something Nebraska hasn't had in a while.
Is your balance very real? Can you run it? Can you run it? Can you run it when you want to? And it'll have a better shot now that you got to respect the pass. David Gustis and Husker Baseball next.
Where's the perfect place to go for lunch every day?
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Where can you watch all of your favorite college and professional sports all season long?
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Who's got family-friendly entertainment all throughout the week, including trivia, music bingo, and live music every Friday?
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Hurrdat Sports Bar in La Vista is the spot for lunch, date night, corporate events, or even a late-night cocktail. A one-of-a-kind spot for sports fans and more. Behind Cabela's in La Vista.
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Hey, Outdoor Nation, the fish are chirping and the birds are biting, and that means it's springtime here in Nebraska's great outdoors.
And we're here to help get you outdoors with the experts from the Nebraska Game and Parks every Saturday morning at 9:45 on KFOR.
Springtime in Nebraska can bring its own set of challenges. This is Chris Goforth. Join me and the experts from Earl May Saturday morning at 8:30 to have your questions answered that will make your spring lawn and garden a success. In the Garden with Earl May this Saturday morning at 8:30 on KFOR.
I'm Deb Fisher, and I approve this message. The Biden border crisis is hitting Nebraska hard. The Omaha DEA reports meth seizures reached a 5-year high. But it's not just the drugs. It's gang members and wannabe terrorists posing threats to our communities. As your U.S. Senator, I've opposed every half measure. I will settle for nothing less than a fully secure border. Paid for by Deb Fisher for U.S. Senate.
Do you have unfiled tax returns or being threatened by the IRS that your wages are about to be garnished or bank accounts are going to be levied? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has professionals ready to fight for you. Their enrolled agents, tax attorneys, and CPAs have saved millions of dollars for taxpayers just like you. They won't just resolve your tax problems. They'll most importantly protect your wages, bank accounts, and all your assets from being taken by the IRS. Call for a free consultation. 800-230-5174. 800-230-5174. Or go to alliestaxrelief.com.
The Omaha Steaks Spring Sale is the perfect time to get fired up for spring grilling. Head over to omahasteaks.com and save on all your favorites or discover something new. Plus, when you use promo code QUALITY at checkout, you'll get an extra $30 off your order. With 50% site-wide, you're going to want to hurry before the sale ends. Go to omahasteaks.com. Don't forget to use promo code QUALITY to get an extra $30 off at checkout. Minimum order may be required.
Omaha Steaks, America's original butcher.
Let's fly away.
Choose your trip with KFOR.
Ma'am, that radio is too big to carry on. You're going to have to check it.
Here's this hour's winning word.
This hour's word is playlist. That's playlist. Playlist. Playlist.
Just enter the winning word at KFORnow.com and you.
And now,
back to Hail Varsity Radio.
More thoughts from Coach Rule and the Saturday scrimmage. We'll hear from Will Bolt. A big weekend for the Big Red, part of the Nebraska baseball broadcast and alumni of Hail Varsity Radio. Love talking to him. One-time partner in crime, David Gustafson, with us. Gus, good weekend at the ballpark, bud. Thanks for a few minutes. How are you?
I'm doing well. Yeah, it was a nice weekend at the ballpark. Maybe not the best weather on Friday, but Sunday was a pretty nice day, and boys went and got 2 of the 3, so that was good because they needed some confidence after a little rough patch for them there.
It was a little rough, and I want to get your thoughts. You've seen Nebraska a handful of times this year on the mic, and let's go back to yesterday. And let me just ask this: as you're settling in, what were you expecting on the rubber match day?
Well, it's kind of we felt good going into it because we kind of felt like it was a reversal of what we saw at Rutgers, where they lost 2 of the 3 there at Rutgers. We had a good feeling about going into yesterday, and if we knew if Will Walsh could get into the game 4 or 5 plus innings, which he had yesterday, then they felt pretty good because the bullpen was completely ready to go. So they had no issues there. So if once he got going through a few innings, and of course, Big Red starts to put on some runs, then you feel really good about it. And it was good to get Tyler Stoll back yesterday as well. He's a 2-run shot in the first, was kind of a nice little shot into your arm there, where then everybody else started to relax, felt pretty good about what was going to happen. And it was just a great day at the ballpark.
Talk about the turnaround from game 2 to game 3, because obviously both lopsided scores, one going each way for either team. How does Nebraska respond to that? Obviously, run ruling Maryland in that rubber match. Was that more so of like a, hey, we've been here before, let's go out and take it type thing? Or what is your read on how different those 2 games were?
Well, I think the game's over, right? So you just move on to the next day. There's a lot of work to be done. You're trying to win the weekend series, right? That's your goal as you go into the Big Ten play. Every weekend is to win it. Yeah, sure, you'd love to sweep, but it's hard to sweep. So there was still an achievable goal in front of them. So they just, moved on and went on to the next day because you can't go back and dwell on what happened the day before. Maryland hit the ball. They hit the ball well, and you got beat. So go back, figure out a few things of what you'd like to change, and they had a little better approach to plate yesterday. But that's a pretty resilient Nebraska team, and they don't get too flustered with losses like that. They don't like them, obviously, but they don't get too flustered with it. They just move on to the next day and go about what they need to have done.
Part of the Husker baseball broadcast, David Gustafson with us here on Hail Varsity Radio. Gus, a thought with Nebraska, and you mentioned that energy and their approach at the plate. They took batting practice. I know Coach Bolt talked a little bit about that. Just their energy was different yesterday in a good way. They seemed pretty locked in. 10-21 with runners in scoring position. They were 5 for 39 their previous 4 games heading into yesterday's win. Took advantage of some of those errors. But what's your take on this offense? What is a normal day for them? They went for 16 runs yesterday. That's not normal, although it could be against some Big Ten pitching. But what can be a good sweet spot for this offense moving forward?
This is a team that can put 6, 7, 8 runs up pretty easily, and unless they're running into a guy who's really got good command. And I wouldn't say it was great command, but it was off-speed stuff on Saturday that kind of got them a little bit off, back on their heels just a hair. So they changed that approach going into Sunday a little bit more, be more aggressive, back to fastball. And, if they get to that 7-run mark, you feel pretty good about this team because they have great pitching, especially on the weekends with those 2 front guys. And maybe, who knows who is going to take that number 3 guy on Sunday. Maybe Will Walsh will take over there. He looked pretty good yesterday. But so you get 6, 7 runs put up there, Schmitty, you feel pretty good about the win.
Moving on to next weekend, and I know that Kansas comes to town as well, but you look at that Iowa series, and that's a big one because Iowa's a team that was projected earlier in the year to be pretty good. I know they struggled early on in the season, but you pair a weekend series against a rival, and then you got your horse and Brett Sears going on Friday. I mean, describe the energy in the ballpark when he takes the mound, because I've been to a couple of Friday games in person just as a fan, and it just feels different when he's on the bump versus literally anybody else.
Well, there's a tremendous amount of confidence in him with that team, and they feel really comfortable with him going out Friday night because he's been so consistent. I mean, it's a quality start after a quality start, and there's just a different mood when they know that, Rhett Sears is going to be on the mound, because they feel that he's going to get them deep into the ball game, give them a chance to win. Usually doesn't give up too many runs, so they know that maybe if they're having a bad night on offensive side, you don't have to have that home, big late rally to win because you got Rhett on the bump. So there's a tremendous amount of confidence when he's on the hill, that's for sure.
Gus, as we handicap the Big Ten, Nebraska tied with Purdue right now at 8-4. Michigan a step back at 10-5. Hawkeyes are 9-6. Illinois surprising many at 10-2. Not that they're in that top four per se, but they're 10-2. So as you look at this league race, where do you think Nebraska's strengths lie, and what are some liabilities moving forward? Obviously, this weekend's huge. Tomorrow night's huge.
Well, they're all big, and it's certainly winnable for the Huskers to take the league regular season title. It's attainable. Illinois, they're up there right now. They're going to run into, they go to Maryland. At Maryland will be a little more difficult for them. They have Ohio State at home. They have a hot Iowa, Purdue. So they're going to run into some of the top end. Unfortunately, Nebraska doesn't play them. It'll be a fun weekend series. We played Illinois this weekend, or this year, I should say. Mm-hmm. But, Nebraska has a chance to win it. And if they just can continue to go win series after series after series, they're going to be in a very good spot come late May.
Regional-wise, we've seen the projections, and before the little skid happened, post 10-game win streak, Nebraska was in some suggestions or some projections to be hosting. Very few, but there were a couple out there. The common spots were down to Norman or to Stillwater. What do you think of this club at this point right now from a regional perspective? Are they a 2 seed somewhere in a tough draw, or do you think they can do enough work with the rest of the year to be in that conversation to host?
Well, I think they're at a 2 right now. And there's certainly a conversation where they can get to a 1, because if you play extremely well the rest of the way through league play here and win the league, you have a very good chance at being a host. And then maybe do a little bit of damage in, wouldn't hurt in the Big Ten tournament either. So I think it's obtainable to get there. There's work to be done for sure. But as right now, probably a 2 is where everybody's projecting them on the 2 line. They have a shot, though, to get to that 1, but they're going to have to do some work down here in the next 4 weekends.
A thought on the Kansas matchup coming up here tomorrow. Obviously, the first one was just a wild ride back and forth down in Lawrence, 13-11. The Jayhawks won that one. Looking for a little bit of vengeance here. Nebraska is, you mentioned, playing well down the stretch. Those midweek games have been a little bit of an Achilles heel. How do they flip that script? Because you also have Creighton and Kansas State in that mix-up as well.
I've done college baseball for almost 20 years now, and the midweek games are always wild. It doesn't matter what stadium you're in, who you're broadcasting for, they're always wild. So expect maybe one of those again tomorrow night. Maybe not the offensive output we saw down in Lawrence, but I think most importantly is can they get something rolling once again? And that's where the midweek games become important, because it doesn't hurt you for the conference standing if you drop a game to Kansas, but now you get another win under your belt, get more confidence. Now you got a couple in a row. You won 3 out of your last 4. If you get that win going into the weekend, you feel really good about it. So the midweek games are important, I think, for confidence wise, going into the next weekend, just as though that you're consistently playing well, especially offensively.
Let's talk about Christo. The not so obvious hint or suggestion from Will Bolt post media session yesterday was good shot that you'll probably see Christo tomorrow night. What's your observation been on his season?
He's got moments where he's excellent, great. He's got moments where he doesn't hit his spots, and that kind of gets him in trouble. And that's any pitcher, right? If any pitcher does that, they're going to get themselves hurt by doing that. So he has, it's the guy who has Friday night stuff. And He's just run into some hiccups this year from time to time. Other times he's been great. So he can dial up his good stuff, which he has. He certainly has it. It could be a very good night tomorrow night for him.
It's a needed night. Would you agree? Not just from a win standpoint, but back to the confidence topic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it would bode well for Nebraska if he had a good night tomorrow night, if he is the one that takes the ball, because they're going to need him. If you want to make a stretch run and win the Big Ten and go into regional, you're going to need guys like Drew Chrisa for sure.
Brumbaugh, the guy's absolutely on fire. Just missed the cycle. I can hear Gus calling it or Ben calling a home run for the cycle that unfortunately didn't happen. The game got shut down because of the mercy rule in college.
Came close. It hit the wall.
No, I know. But Brumbaugh, just speak a moment to the spark he really truly is for this offense.
Well, he's your typical leadoff guy. If you get on, good things happen for your team, usually. And that's what he does. He gets on base. Spark at the top. He's a smart base runner when he's on. And the more he gets on, it just allows Nebraska's offense to set things up the way they want to. Because you have Riley Silva batting second. And if he's there and Brumbaugh's on first, second, typically you're probably going to ask Riley to put that button down. Now you got a runner in score position. So he's a spark plug, is Brumbaugh for the offense for sure. And he's just been super consistent all year long. And hopefully that continues the rest of the way.
Can we confirm that Kyle Perry does know the run rule now on getaway day?
Well, full disclosure, we weren't certain on it. We're like, and that's the end. Okay, yes, we were told it was, but then the way the players were reacting, we were like, we think it's over. Yep, it's over. Okay, very good. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm sure Kyle probably knows by now.
Gus was doing his best Jim Carrey and liar, liar, and that's the game. I love it. David Gustafson, part of the broadcast team with Nebraska Baseball. Gus, we'll talk again soon. Thanks for making time today, man.
Absolutely. See you guys.
See you, man. There he is, David Gustafson, part of the Husker Broadcast Network, and was on the call this weekend. Appreciate him. We'll have some more thoughts here with Nebraska's scrimmage. Hear from Will Bolt. Nebraska took 2 out of 3 from the Turtle. It's Hail Varsity, and we're powered by Cornhead Lager.
Maximum sustained winds near 125 miles per hour.
Severe weather.
Very dangerous scenario.
Serious coverage. Stay connected with Operation Stormwatch on Lincoln's KFOR.
Save big money at Menards. Keep your lawn looking its best with Menards Premium 4-part fertilizer program. Each step is tailor-made for the health of your lawn. Get started this spring with a bag of crabgrass preventer with lawn food. Apply just once early in the spring to feed your lawn for over 2 months. Pick it up in our garden center today and check out Menards.com for more hot deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Hey there, you in aisle 2. I see you by the fiber and laxatives. You still using those to manage your constipation with belly pain? If your symptoms keep coming back, you may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. so you may need more than over-the-counter treatments to manage it. Ask your doctor about how Linzess can help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Get the hard truth from someone who's seen it from the inside. Hey, this is Dan Bongino. As a former NYPD police officer, Secret Service agent.
And now,
back to Hail Varsity Radio.
Thanks to David Gustafson, part of Husker Baseball, with his Spotify, iTunes, Google Play. You want to hear the full interview, catch it again. The podcast platforms right there. Also, the Hail Varsity YouTube channel. It's where you can hear that and catch the show up. Also, Hail Varsity Radio, Twitter at HVarsity Radio. Hearing that Mr. Fiddler is a Spartan. We'll confirm that here briefly. 489-1240 to get in. 800-825-5865. So, get some baseball. Talked about the scrimmage day Saturday. Big day for Dylan Raiola, as did just a fantastic job of constantly moving the football. And that's short passes, that's intermediate passes, that's extending plays per those who saw. And a little improv for a touchdown to Nair as well. A little Mahomes tribute there. So that's the good news for Nebraska, as we hear a little bit more from Matt Rule and his thoughts on the scrimmage and just where the defense needs to go. Excited to talk about this, too, with Nebraska standouts. Of course, Charlie McBride here next hour, and Jay Moore going to be with us. Get their thoughts on third down defense. Good write-up by Sam McEwen of the World Herald on third down defense. Coach McBride always says you live and die by the blitz. Nebraska brought a lot of heat last year. Third downs weren't always great, and it seemed like 3rd and 8 was not good in some big moments. That just kind of reminds how little that margin of error is or was for Nebraska with anemic offense. So you have the quarterbacks that performed well, specifically Raiola. This is Rule, cut 2 here on the work done by the quarterbacks. There was a 99-yard drive. He didn't tip his hand with who led that drive, but you did have it's John Wayne time, Connor. It's 1st and 99 for the offense, but let's hear from Rule on just what happened with the quarterbacks and the progress they made and how they looked on Saturday.
I thought all 3 quarterbacks played really well. I'd like to watch the tape to be able to talk about specifics, but we started with the ball with on the -1 with the ones and had a 99-yard drive. We had some long drives that the quarterbacks excelled at taking what was there, getting out of the headset's it's transformational. It's transformational what you can do. So we have guys who are used to doing that, and Sat and Glenn and Garrett. So I thought the quarterbacks all played really well. But again, with young quarterbacks, I have to go back and watch tape. But we'd run around the pocket with one hand on the ball, and we get in the game in the season, and all of a sudden those are going to be fumbles, right? Again, talking about limiting the lowlights. When you can't hit the quarterback, it's hard to tell. But a lot of really good things.
Brian chimes into the stream. After last year, the bar isn't very high. That's fair. But you're getting quarterback coaching here from Glenn Thomas. And when it comes to quarterbacks bouncing back, that's a trait you need to see. You need to know about your quarterback. With all right, when you go 8-22 with 3 picks and 2 fumbles, that has happened. Maybe not the 8-22, but you get my point.
It feels like it.
Feels like it sometimes. But how do the quarterbacks respond here after a bad day? Because guess what? There's probably been some bad days on offense this spring. How do you work through it?
I prefer to have it go because, again, I think one of the biggest things that you have to see is how quarterbacks handle frustration. So like for instance, at Baylor, Charlie Brewer was a starter my first year after game 4, and the next year I rotated him with a transfer quarterback. And it was the greatest quarterback parents ever. Like never called me, never questioned me, never. And in the end, then in the end, he kind of was clear he was the starter. He became the starter the rest of the year. That took us to a bowl game. Was bowl game MVP the next year. Takes us to the Sugar Bowl. Takes us to the Big 12 championship. If a quarterback never has a bad day, or he has simulated bad days, so he might have a bad day at practice. But if they know they're the starter, like I want them to have to fight for it and earn it. And so I heard Eric Spoelstra. There's a thing he was talking to the guys in the locker room again in the playoffs. He's like, how much he values things that you can't buy and things that you have to earn. And I just like that concept. So I want the quarterbacks to feel like they have the race, and all of a sudden I want the other guy to come along and try to challenge him. I think it'll elevate all of us. And then when we know. But I wouldn't anticipate us saying, hey, this guy is the starter like today, because I thought all 3 quarterbacks went out there today and said, hey, I can be the starter. And that's my challenge to the players is don't worry about like where you stand at all positions. Don't worry about how much opportunities you're getting. Just worry about what the tape looks like. Do you look like a Big Ten winning quarterback? Do you look like a Big Ten winning left tackle? Do you look like a Big Ten winning D tackle? And if you do, your time will come. So that's a long, very philosophical answer, but I would say it would take a while because I just think there's so many guys doing good things. I want to give them a fair shot.
So they're not rushing to anointment. That said, that is a good answer for the status quo, and that guys are playing at the level from a capability standpoint of going out and winning the football game for you, not hurting your team. How about Harburg, right? Because that's your question right now. He's got the experience. He won 5 games for you. Is he truly a different thrower? Is he a better passer? Is he a better quarterback? We know he's a phenomenal athlete, a tough kid, a team kid, and talented. You want him on the field somehow. And where's he at in this journey here with quarterback coaching under Glenn Thomas? Where's he at? You've heard from him this spring. Let's hear from Rule on where Harburg's been better.
I think Heinrich, his progressions and his just development as a passer is like light years ahead of where it was. I mean, Heinrich can go out there and run, the zone read and the QB power and just, win games for us. But I think his development as a passer, his development in the protections, I think, year 2 of hearing the same play calls, though there are some that are different, right? But the base genesis of what we're doing is a lot of it's the same. I think you just see a guy that's way more comfortable. And, if you remember last year, they were splitting 4 reps, right? Now that's 3 reps, right? And then we're getting more reps this year than we got last year. So with reps, I think, he continues to get better.
That's what you want. You want a guy that is capable, that gets a shot, that gets some confidence developed, and can go out there and do his thing. Dion is in. It's good. The stream folks were worried. Where's Dion? Where's Dion? He's here. How about Nebraska and the dreaded 3rd down situation? Connor, did you swear out loud, openly, throw beer? Did you throw many fits on 3rd down in Nebraska's 3rd down defense last year?
I'm sure I could say yes to a lot of those instances.
As good as the defense was and how much they had to carry.
Well, that was the problem because every time I did yell about it, I'm like, well, hold on, wait a minute. They're the reason why they're in this game anyway. Right? So I can't get too upset at them. But at the same time, I'm like, oh my God, it was 3rd and 8.
Give me one more.
And we had the quarterback wrapped around the legs by 4 different people and they still got the first down. It's just like, giving up a 3rd down conversion, even as a fan or just somebody who likes football, is probably one of the most frustrating things about the game.
And dude, when it's 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, some of us can remember the years. You had lights out defense. You had draft picks on the defensive side of the ball. And it was 3rd and 8. It was 3 wideouts to one side. It was a 1 back. And you can name the teams with me: Florida State, Washington, Miami. They would get 9 out of 3rd and 8. The defense playing their ass off. We'll wind down hour 1 next.
stirring fiber, exercising, frequent trips to the store for more laxatives and fiber. Sounds like your constipation with belly pain is a lot to manage. But if your symptoms that keep coming back are signs of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C, ask your doctor how Linzess can help you get ahead of it. Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LANCESS.
After your car has been towed to the shop is not the best time to start shopping for a vehicle. Likewise, the best time to talk about funeral pre-planning is well before the need arises. You want to be assured that your wishes are followed and you get what's right for you and your family. If we can assist you and your family with these discussions, we would be happy to do so. Give us a call and we can plan a time for a short visit. Butheris, Mason & Love at 40th and A Street, 402-488-0934. Recommended by family and friends.
When you choose new flooring, you don't want to wait for weeks or months to enjoy it. You want it installed right away. Hi, Steve Carper from O Street Carpet. We hear stories every day about long waits and installation charges way higher than necessary. When you choose O Street Carpet, we'll measure free, install right away, and at a much better price. Stop in, shop now. Proud to be Lincoln's choice for nearly 50 years.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street and ostreetcarpet.com.
I'm Deb Fisher, and I approve this message. The Biden border crisis is hitting Nebraska hard. The Omaha DEA reports meth seizures reached a 5-year high. But it's not just the drugs. It's gang members and wannabe terrorists posing threats to our communities. As your U.S. Senator, I've opposed every half measure. I will settle for nothing less than a fully secure border. Paid for by Deb Fisher for U.S. Senate.
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Leaky faucet? Call Action. Frustrated with a clogged or backed up drain? Call Action. Allergies acting up? Call Action. Their indoor air quality experts can help. Need an electrician? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free...
And now, back to Hail Varsity Radio.
One final time this hour, plenty thoughts on Saturday's spring game. We'll beat out of the Single Barrel 8-10 pregame show. Single Barrel inside the Graduate 9th and P. You're invited down. Get some breakfast. Awesome stuff at the Single Barrel. We'll be there Thursday of this week as well. Roadshow Thursday with Hail Varsity 4-6. A reminder about your friends with the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Use your seatbelt. It saves lives. It prevents injuries. Only if properly worn. Make it click. A message from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. A lot to get to with Coach McBride. Uncle Charlie going to join us here in 10 minutes. Thoughts on third down defense, blitzing, four-man rush, NFL draft. What's the number for Nebraska to get back into ranking / contention conversation? You play and win big games, you get great talent, you develop said talent, and you stack said talent. It's not a great year, 1 year where you're sending 4 or 5 guys to the draft in the first 3 rounds, and then there's crickets the next year. And it's been kind of a wild run for Nebraska the wrong way with draft picks when you go back to Prince Amukamara. That's 2011.
Bears legend.
That's 2011. That's 2011. Last time Nebraska had a first-round pick. Second-round guy named Levante followed. That was incredible. Check that. Levante went in 20. Yeah, he went in 20.
He's all right.
He's incredible. Levante was second-round guy. A lot of Bo and Kaz's crew from the Malik Collins, Randy Gregory's, Vincent Valentine, second or third round guys, Amir, a second round guy. So Nebraska had NFL dudes. A lot of them were drafted in the Bo era. A lot of them ended up signing. Searles had a great career as an undrafted free agent. So they're out there. Do they get developed? And Nebraska just has had a talent acquisition, talent retention problem, and then a development problem. When you look at the coaching changes, Sue's for sure. Sue's went the year before Prince did as a second pick overall. But
it's been fun to see, and I know he wasn't a first rounder, but it's been fun to see the progression of CTB in the pros.
Cam Taylor was he second or third round?
I believe he was
second. We'll have to double check.
But
he
was one
was
of those two. But
yeah, he was nice. Still is.
He's been fun to watch on the Bengals. Actually, like he makes a pretty big impact, which has been pretty cool to see.
He's that athlete hybrid guy you want on the defensive side of the ball.
Not returning punts though.
Well, you know. KG is second round. Yes, he was second round. And
okay.
Remember hearing Zach Taylor saying, "We got my Husker," in the war room. Jay Moore this week is special for him, as always, because he went to the NFL draft, heard that name, and got that phone call from the 49ers, which is incredible achievement to get to the league and spend time in the league. So Nebraska's, I think, going to have a flip here moving forward because Rule, that's part of what he wants for you. He wants to get guys here, wants to develop them, wants that chemistry and culture to be very real. But then, oh, by the way, you'll get to the point where you can sign a second contract in the NFL and have that reputation as a football factory. You once did, and you did it super well. Juergen's also a second-round guy. Coach McBride's next. Hail Varsity continues.
Trust is a foundation of any strong relationship. It's earned every day.
At 1011, it's the way we cover the community we call home.
Working hard to fact check, verify, and get the story right.
It means alerting you first to severe weather and preparing for what's ahead.
It's telling the stories that bring us together and make us proud to be Nebraskan.
Trust Cole Miller, Madison Pitch, Chief Meteorologist Ken Shumick, and Sports Director Kevin Suits. The most watched, the most trusted. That's 1011.
Back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
I love shoes. You find them in the store, they like call you, but they hurt. The best ones hurt the worst. And you're walking around going, I don't want anyone to know that I'm not happy. Stuck in the arch supports, and I felt so much better. I'm pain-free. I'd say Good Feet help with all of my great shoes. They turned out to be something that actually works for me. Now with Good Feet, I don't have to choose between looking good and feeling good. My name is Ava, and that's my Good Feet story.
Bring in your favorite shoes to the Good Feet store, and we'll personally fit you to ensure your comfort. Visit the store at 27th and Pine Lake Road across from South Point Mall or at goodfeet.com.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet system fits in all your shoes. And ladies, you can now be comfortable in your favorite high heels. The Good Feet store.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
This is your station for local news, talk, sports, and weather. FM 101.5, 1240 AM, KFOR, Lincoln.
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson.
More on Donald Trump's porn star hush money criminal trial. Opening statements and the first prosecution witness, former National Enquirer Chief David Pecker. ABC's John Santucci.
He's going to come back to the stand tomorrow, but nevertheless, it just shows the speed to which Judge Merchan is moving these proceedings with the fact that openings are done. We're already on the first witness for prosecutors.
ABC's Olivia Rubin.
Prosecutors in their opening statements brought up the infamous Access Hollywood tape. They read portions of the transcript to the jury. They said that Donald Trump was bragging about committing sexual assault, and Donald Trump just had to sit there and listen. And I will say, just watching that camera that's directly on his face, you could tell it was difficult. It was one of the few moments when prosecutors brought up the tape that you could see Donald Trump shaking his head. He pursed his lips.
President Biden at an Earth Day event in Triangle, Virginia, announcing $7 billion in grants as part of the EPA's Solar for All program, serving low-income and disadvantaged communities.
We'll cut more than 5 million metric tons of carbon pollution annually. And folks, Solar for All will give us more breathing room and cleaner breathing room.
Columbia University cancels in-person classes as new college demonstrations break out over Israel's war in Gaza. Dozens of arrests at a Yale University protest, trespassing charges. ABC's Kent Pierce on the scene.
One by one, Yale police led the protesters out in handcuffs. The activists who spent the weekend living in tents on campus, police broke up that encampment early this morning. As word got out about the arrests, the protest grew and literally took to the streets. A majority of Supreme Court justices today appeared sympathetic to Grants Pass, Oregon, making it a crime for anyone without a permanent home to sleep outside in an effort to crack down on homeless camps. Wall Street's major indexes closed higher. You're listening to ABC News.
The Omaha Steaks Spring Sale is the perfect time to get fired up for spring grilling. Head over to omahasteaks.com and save on all your favorites or discover something new. Plus, when you use promo code QUALITY at checkout, you'll get an extra $30 off your order. With 50% site-wide, you're going to want to hurry before the sale ends. Go to omahasteaks.com. Don't forget to use promo code QUALITY to get an extra $30 off at checkout. Minimum order may be required.
Omaha Steaks, America's original butcher.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
A fire was reported this afternoon in Lincoln. Hi, this is Connor Clark at 76 degrees at KFOR. Lincoln Fire and Rescue was at the scene of a working fire at 21st and Cornhusker Highway. That section of roadway is currently closed off, and they are suggesting you use Superior Street or Salt Creek Roadway as alternate routes. The fire is currently under investigation. You can keep updated on the situation by visiting KFORnow.com for information as it becomes available. 3 vehicles were broken into last Friday in the parking lot of the Jamaica North Trail at Wilderness Park. Lincoln Police Captain Todd Cutsian says in all 3 cases, windows were shattered to get inside.
The total damage for all the vehicles was $1,600, and the loss was $306.50. The items that were taken from the vehicle were merely some clothing and then some paperwork for the vehicle and an owner's manual, so nothing terribly expensive.
In all 3 cases, no one was around any of their vehicles. 3 cases of criminal impersonation reported Saturday morning indicated that the caller was from the Lincoln Police Department contacting them about missing jury duty, where 2 people were told to call another number to set up a court date, while the third person simply hung up.
It does not appear any of the victims actually fell victim to the request and followed through with the request, so there's no financial loss.
Lincoln Police Captain Todd Cutsian says any type of phone call that you get that asks for money, be sure to check it out and verify it is legitimate. A show featuring the music of Simon and Garfunkel coming to the Lead Center tomorrow night has been labeled the Daco Tribute. The producer, Dean Elliott, says the show includes all the pair's famous hits, but also video footage and narration about the two. Elliott founded the show and says it's been touring continuously for 10 years. Tickets are available at leadcenter.org. Lincoln's first forecast, currently overcast and 76 degrees at KFOR tonight. There is a 50% chance of thunderstorms and a low temperature of 49 degrees on to Tuesday. Partly sunny skies and a little bit breezy, a high temperature of 70. This is Connor Clark with KFOR News.
Let's fly away.
Choose your trip with KFOR.
Ma'am, that radio is too big to carry on. You're going to have to check it.
Here's this hour's winning word.
This hour's word is events. That's events. EVENTS, events.
Just enter the winning word at KFORnow.com and you could be jetting off VIP style to the destination of your choice.
Pack up, let's fly away. Thank you for flying.
With KFOR.
Keep up with the local news, sports, your favorite talk shows, and pro shows on KFOR wherever you roam. Stream us 24/7 at KFORnow.com or on your mobile. You can download the free iHeart or TuneIn app and stream KFOR on the go.
The following is a paid program. Content is provided by Hurrdat.
This is Christian Peter. I'm sorry, but the stories I have about Charlie are not appropriate for the public.
The right case of the Mondays. It's Mr. Blackshirt, Charlie McBride, on Hail Varsity Radio.
Back with you, it's Hour 2. It's Hail Varsity. We're powered by Cornhead Lager, Chris Schmidt, Connor Clark. Elijah is probably buying a new look throwback logo Denver Bronco jersey.
The only good one out of the new one.
It was cool. Those old helmets are something special with the old Orange Crush. He is on his way to see Lakers and Nuggets tonight, NBA playoffs game 2. We welcome in Mr. Blackshirt, a Monday with Charlie, Coach Charlie McBride, as we gear up for the spring game on Saturday down at the Single Barrel. Coach, how we doing? You feeling all right?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I had nice weather. I mean, it's getting too nice for me.
It needs to be windy or rainy or something going on, I'm sure, right? Little Saturday Big Ten weather always fits you better than most, I suppose. But, well, take the good weather. Take the win, right?
That's right. I tell you what, I was lucky. I got my youngest sons here helping me kind of move our change our seasons and getting all the furniture and stuff out and get the golf cart rolling. And he's been working all day, and I'm a supervisor. I've been doing laundry. Believe it or not, I've been doing laundry.
I did that. I did that twice and I was never asked to do it again. So,
well, I'll tell you what, it's a lot easier because it's a lot lighter.
I like it. I like it.
Than carrying furniture and everything. But we had a great weekend. Jared Tomich had his 50th birthday.
Wow.
And his wife has a business called Mix Design, and she has a design barn, which the one section we were in, there's 3 or 4 different sections, but the one section that we were in would probably hold anywhere between 250 and 300 people. There were probably 200 plus people there at the surprise party she had for them. And so we went to that, and the food was it was unreal. I mean, it was, everything from oysters to, just to cheesecakes, and it was really wild. It was something.
That sounds incredible. I'm sure you had some steak.
No, actually we got into the seafood and a little bit of Italian food and things like that. But it was one of those things where you get in line and the lines move fast, and you come back to the line again, and then come back again, and it's just. And then you keep saying to yourself, "I got to go try this stuff over here."
And you lose count.
That's good. I like it.
Away from you.
Coach, I would ask you about the spring game. Now, Saturday's scrimmage, word we have is it was a really impressive day for the quarterbacks, and the best day the quarterbacks have looked, and quite frankly, the offense has looked. And I know as a defensive guy, you probably don't like hearing that, but Raiola was super impressive, specifically with just making plays during broken plays. And I know that turns dark hair white with defensive folks, but it was pretty cool to hear Coach Rule talk about just some of the work the quarterbacks have been doing. And I look at it like this. It's a step closer to have a consistent offense that can complement what's been a good defense. And not just Dealin, but there might be some clarity here with there are quarterbacks to pick from. They've really improved, and you've got two young kids that have looked really good early.
Well, I think the important thing is even though I'm on the other side of the ball, I think you're really happy to see the offense do well because, in games, you game plan a thing and you're a little bit strapped, playing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And they know you, they get to know, the defense is pretty good and are able to move the ball. They know what to do. But the thing when you say 3 quarterbacks or 2-3 quarterbacks had good days, that talks about the offensive line as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you have guys that make plays on, they can't throw the ball, they got to run a little bit. Then you turn into a blocker downfield, and you turn into another kind of athlete. And those are, there's a lot of stuff in that. And those things, sometimes you say, boy, that play was awful, but we got 15 yards on it, and you don't really see till you get the film who's the guy that sprung them for the 15 and things like that. And those are important. I'll tell you, it's that you have people that are down there doing their business and getting their job done.
Well, Coach, flip it to the other side, too. Say you're on that defensive staff and you give up that play that was probably broken right from the start, but they still get a first down and 15 yards of it. How do you bounce back the next play on that defensive unit, knowing that you probably had them stopped on, say, 3rd down, and all of a sudden you're looking at a new set?
Well, you try to number one is you try to do something, whether it's an inline stunt or whether it's a blitz or whether it's a zone, or depends on what your, zone blitz or, if we had a zone blitz, it's a 4-man rush. If we had a fire blitz, 5-man rush. And, and you have different things you can do up front just with your base defense as far as making inline stunts. And you try to go with tendencies then and make a play for a loss. Because a lot of times, if you can make a loss or sack the quarterback or do something special, then that usually at least helps slow down the offense for a while, But if they're just better than you, that's too bad. You're in trouble.
Charlie McBride's with us. We're talking spring game Saturday, Hail Varsity Radio, a Monday with Charlie. Coach, I want to talk 3rd down defense because Rule talked about it. And wanted to get your take on getting home with 4 and also being able to cover on that 3rd and 7 with man coverage. How often would you blitz? Did you prefer to blitz on 3rd and medium, 3rd and long?
Well, we were a big pressure team. That's what we did. I mean, when you're talking about 4, you're talking about maybe a little bit more inline stunts, or you're talking about the zone blitz where you're just rushing 4 guys, but you could be dropping your nose. And believe it or not, at one time in my later years there, in I think 99, it was Steve Warren at one time had 3 interceptions and had led our team. He was our nose tackle, and he led our team in interceptions. So, that zone blitzes are pretty good and things that will, make it uncommon for the offensive line. And maybe you come up with a sack or you come up with a big play. And 3rd down is something that you really have to spend a lot of time with. And sometimes you get guys that think they're rocket scientists, but it's really a lot of common sense just involved in it. And so to stand there and do things, be able to adjust, to certain things. If you have a blitz, and for example, and maybe you have 4 different ways to run it, but it doesn't change the coverage. And they keep the same coverage, for example, and run the blitz different. And you can go in at halftime and change that up front stuff. And, maybe they got prepared to block it, some type of blitz that you ran, and then you can change that. Now they're in trouble because they're teaching them something they're not going to see. So, there's all kinds of sneaky stuff you can do. And as long as you don't, make bad, stupid penalties, that's what you really want. And you want to be sure that the guys are always attempting to tear the ball out and do the things that, you talk about all the time, is the turnovers and things like that they have in mind. And you'll see guys maybe catch a pass, but get the ball knocked out of there, and even recover a fumble or something like that. And it makes the whole game different. So there's so many avenues that are third down opens up for defensive teams. What they can do is, it just depends on what kind of backfield action you're getting out of the quarterback.
Coach Charlie McBride is with us on Hail Varsity Radio. Coach, we were talking last week about how Tony White acknowledged during his press conference that Rule not only got on him, but it seems like a multitude of coaches within a meeting room after that first Saturday scrimmage. Is that something you ever experienced as a coach? And what does that tell you about the accountability factor that this staff has?
Well, I think it's a learning experience. You can have a head coach jump all over you. And I think, Frank Kush when I was there, was really famous at getting after individuals, coaches, and stuff like that. But, he really helped you. I mean, it was something that, it may sound like it's brutal sometimes, but, when head coaches see things that you maybe don't see, just because of their knowledge of the game and things like that, that's really important. And when you can get other coaches, even other offensive coaches, talking about, things that hurt them or do this and that. And, there's all avenues to change or to create enthusiasm just by doing maybe something new or, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Coach, what are you looking forward to seeing Saturday? What do you want to see with the spring game?
Well, I want to see consistency, and I don't want to see a bunch of illegal procedures and bad handoff. Center quarterback exchange. Everybody says, "Well, that's just common. We got some good that, but you get 2 or 3 of those babies, you're going to lose." I want to tell you, that's not a good idea. And that, when I see it, I listen to coaches in college all forever that talk about that. And then you turn on a pro game and they're dropping the ball all over the field with the center quarterback, so, the good Lord made it for everybody. And so, but those are the simple things are the things you want to really see that you've improved guys improve their techniques, their footwork, their use of their hands, there's so many things you look at it. I took spring ball as a teaching session. Mm-hmm. It was all about teaching kids to be better. And whether you won or lose, sometimes you don't like to lose, but you have to still get them ready to play. But the idea of the whole thing is improvement, and that they're trying like heck to do the best they can. And that's another thing. You're going to see some things out of players in a game that has a little bit of juice in it, like the spring game or an important scrimmage or something, you're going to see some players step up that you didn't know had that in them. And that's always exciting. I mean, that's, when you see a kid, all of a sudden come out of his shell, that's what's really fun about the game too, when you have this situation in the spring.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what type of performance, consistency, wow, or just normal you get from the quarterbacks. But it was a good day last Saturday for Iola. Sounds like Harburg's coming along, and it sounds like Coach Rule was really happy with just where they were, not only making big plays, but making the routine plays on some shorter passing yards.
Let me tell you something. Somebody said, "Well, you got to get down to one quarterback." I'll tell you, I'd love to have three quarterbacks that I had to make a decision on.
Sure.
I mean, it's better than just one guy you're going to depend on forever, or something like that. And but I think the idea that you have different types of people sometimes that change the whole defensive look at the game. If you got a guy that can run a little bit, do some things that's scary, and as far as we always said this, if we can find them, we'll kill them. I mean, and I know we lost to Texas the first time, but I think Applewhite was the quarterback at the time, and we played him in the conference championship game, and we changed their whole philosophy of how we played him before. And when we played him before, I screwed the game up with three different calls that cost us the game. And so I learned something there. But the secret of the whole thing is they had an all-league tackle playing, and we had Vanden Bosch playing, who was hurt in the first game. And second game, I don't know how many sacks he had. He put this guy to sleep. And so it was a big difference, but we knew one thing: Applewhite was going to be there in the pocket. He wasn't going to be running around the field. So if you got some guys that could move around in the pocket and get out of there and cause some trouble and throw on the run, then you got something going.
Coach, we'll check in next week. Thanks for a few minutes today. Oh, it's always fun.
I'll talk to you when you're older.
All right, Coach, you take care.
Thanks for having me, guys. Bye now.
Where's the perfect place to go for lunch every day?
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Where can you watch all of your favorite college and professional sports all season long?
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Who's got family-friendly entertainment all throughout the week, including trivia, music bingo, and live music every Friday?
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Hurrdat Sports Bar in La Vista is the spot for lunch, date night, corporate events, or even a late-night cocktail. A one-of-a-kind spot for sports fans and more. Behind Cabela's in La Vista.
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to speak?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 10 minutes a day.
10 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make languages fun and engaging. You might even forget you're learning. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. Babbel teaches language skills you'll actually use, about travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you having real conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are voiced by real native speakers, you'll get pronunciation just right. and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Get Babbel. It starts here. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
All-State, 2-year starter, and rush in for the Big Red and NFL vet.
Is Dudeness or Duder or, El Duderino if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
It's Blackshirt Jay Moore with Hail Varsity Radio.
Back with you, the Black Shirt Hour roars forward. Chris Schmidt and Connor Clark. We say hi to Jay Moore, Black Shirt Husker NFLer, thanks to Coach McBride. Last segment. Jay Bird, spring game is here. NFL draft week is here. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. It's been usually I'm on, I'm on at the same time, but we have different.
You're not streaming today. You're not streaming today. Are you in a closet hiding from the?
Hectic day. I'll put it that way. It's been hectic Monday so far.
Are you in the closet hiding from Mom and Junior?
No, just got home. Getting ready to flag football tonight. We have a couple more games left for the spring flag football, and we got to. I don't think we've lost in a couple of years, so we got to withhold our dominance.
I love that. What's Junior playing? Quarterback? Is he quarterback counter?
Everything. It's a 5-man flag football, a little running back, a little QB, a little receiver, play center. We should go out and catch passes, which are about, I think we maybe tried 5 a game, and I think we've completed maybe 4 passes total in the last, 2 years. So it's fun. Kids enjoy it. It's something to do in the spring, and they're fun to be around and fun to coach, and it's always kind of something to look forward to on a Monday.
What NFL franchise are they representing?
They are currently the Ravens.
Uh-huh.
So we've been, this is the 4th time. So we've always done the fall and spring. So I think we've been the Bengals, the Chargers. I think we were the 49ers this past fall. Now we're the Ravens. So it's pretty cool. They do get a nice little reversible jersey that they can wear. So, and the kids, they absolutely love, representing a team. So that it's pretty cool to see them interact with each other, and just we have one of the most competitive first grade groups. I mean, they are. We have to tell them to tone it down a little bit. They just love it. They want to know score. They want to know everything. It's fun when they want to be out there and compete. They're a joy to coach and be around.
Jay, you've seen some Nebraska practices now. Sounds like Saturday was really good for Raiola and the quarterbacks and the offense. From what you've seen, and let's fast forward to Saturday. What do you want to see Saturday? What do you like from what you've seen in person?
Yeah, I think it's just clean. I don't think you're going to see anything fancy. It's going to be pretty basic. The main thing, if I remember the spring game last year, and obviously that crept into the season, was the turnovers. I just want to see a clean football game. I think the offense has turned the ball over 7+ times last spring game. You do not want to see that. I know there's some things may happen. You have some younger players play in some instances, but I want to see when it's, the guys who are going to be playing in the fall, I want to look clean. I want to look efficient. I know there'll be mistakes, but that's the main thing. You don't want to see the same stuff that you've seen in what's beaten you the last few years, or really what's beaten you the last decade. And so that's really it. It's clean. It's a glorified scrimmage. You can't get too high. You can't get too low. And I know it's going to be rather vanilla, but you want to see quarterbacks make smart decisions, make the easy throws, complete them. Maybe like to see them stretch the field a little bit, take some shots. I'm sure they will. Take care of the football, clean. Get the run game going, utilize that. have some nice play action passes. But, on the other side of the ball, defense, tackle well. They did that. That's the first thing I remember from last spring game in the first spring with Coach Rule and Coach White was the defense always just seemed to be in position. They tackled well. You want to continue to see that. You just want to continue to see strides of getting better. You want to see the kicking game look clean. I don't know what that's all going to look like with, I know they kind of altered the kickoff last year and punting. You just want to see things be clean. Everyone stay healthy, take care of the football. You get in, you get out, and then you get ready for, to finish up the semester strong and get ready for summer conditioning.
Jay, we've been talking about it throughout the show, and you kind of got a glimpse of this from that little edit that Husker football posted on social media here today. But the ability of the quarterback, specifically Raiola, to get out of trouble with his arm. Now, we've seen that with, Adrian and a couple of times last year with Jeff Sims. They could get out of trouble with their legs. How much of a difference does it make when your quarterback can throw you out of a jam rather than run you out of a jam?
Yeah, that's nice to have. You always hear about, good quarterbacks can throw guys open, and whether that's on the run or even in a clean pocket. And it's nice to have a guy when you can on the move and just create, right? Obviously, we've had plenty of quarterbacks going all the way back that can create with their legs. Just with the arm, it just has been not as consistent. Now, I'm not ready to anoint anyone yet, but obviously with Danny Kaelin and Raiola, those guys can spin it really, really well for freshmen. So I'm excited to see that and just see how that kind of transcribes over, throughout the spring game and into the fall. And now again, I want to be able to rely on the run. We got to be able to run the football. We got to be a downhill team, but it's also nice to have a threat and just know that you have a quarterback that you have to respect his arm and respect the passing game, because that wasn't much of a factor last year. I think we were able to burn some teams with some big plays because the option game was an issue with Heinrich, but the ability to move well in the pocket, to get out of some pressure situations and throw on the move and throw to guys and make high level throws in a couple of glimpses that we saw from the scrimmage. That's something we haven't seen in a while. So again, I don't want to put the cart too far before the horse or get the hopes up too high, but the progression, the evolution, everything, and where they're going, I just like where everything's at right now.
Jay Moore's with his Black Shirt Husker NFL, or at JMoore44 on Twitter. And you watch him with Big Red Wrap-Up, co-host of Big Red Wrap-Up. Jay, let's talk third downs. Coach Rule touched on it. You've said it for a while. Coach McBride said it as well. You can get creative, but when push comes to shove, you want to be able to just get home with 4 and not bring 5 or 6. Now, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And Nebraska statistically was not great. I think the last 5 years, in Sammy McEwen's article, since 2019, last in the Big Ten on third down defense. I think 8th this last season, but 45th overall. The only complaint or liability you could have about defense last year was 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, it felt like. And do you think that can be fixed this year?
I think it can be. Yeah. I think for as well as the defense played and played at times, this defense was so good at sudden change and kind of getting itself out of some very peculiar situations. But when, they win on first and second down and have offensive end third and predictable, they just didn't seem to, they didn't get up the field when they needed to. And I know that's been a very, a scenario that's been, will always be an emphasis, but that's an area where a really good defense last year can improve. To get off the field on third down and making stops when you need to make stops. And it's a multitude of things. I don't think it's necessarily getting more creative. They probably got to win up front more consistently with the D line. You're talking Ty, Nash, Jamari Butler, Princewell, Chief Borders, Cam Lenhart, a lot of those guys we saw last year, Raleigh Van Poppel, those guys up front, Judy, you got to win. You got to win your 1-on-1 games. I think year 2 with Coach Knighton understanding protections a little better and kind of know who's going to have the 1-on-1 blocks and kind of setting them up for that and setting guys up for success to win 1-on-1 to get home. And it's not always a sack. It's just getting around the quarterback, making them uncomfortable, throwing off that timing. Mm-hmm. But then again, so you have that, and then it's communication on the back end. It's communication with the corners and the linebackers and the safeties and the linebackers, and understanding route trees and concepts and where offenses are trying to attack you in certain coverages and disguising things and knowing when to get creative and know when to hide things and disguise things and know when not to. So I think just year 2 that will, that should show up better. But it's just not as easy as saying, they gotta win with 4. Yeah, they need to probably blitz more. There's a lot that goes into it, but it's just everyone just got to get a little bit better. Those D linemen got to kind of find a rush that they can lean on when they need to get it to win a 1-on-1 battle. You don't have to have a multitude of rushes. You just have one rush. You can get a guy with dang air every time. Communication's got to be a little better, and guys just got to know we're going to get attacked when you're in certain situations. So all that involved, I would like to think that it's going to be a much improved defense when it is third down and time to get off the field and get that ball back in the offensive hands.
Jay Moore's with us. Jay, I've got about 90 seconds for a hard break. Can we squeeze one more question in with you?
Yeah, you bet.
All right. When it comes to this week, the NFL draft, Nebraska may not have a name called, and that's not been the norm around here. Did you show up to Nebraska and get turned into a draft pick, or is that something that, okay, you're at Nebraska, you're going to get looked at to be a draft pick?
I think I got turned into a draft pick. Now, I think I was given some God-given abilities. I was a long, athletic kid who could run. That's stuff that that's not developed. That's just God-given talent. But I had to become tougher. I had to understand a defensive end position that I never played in high school. So I was definitely developed into that. It helped that we weren't, what I knew as a kid in middle school. We were a good program. We played for Big 12 championships and won bowl games and played for played meaningful games in October and November. But I was definitely developed. It's a mix of everything. You have to have the God-given talent, but you also have to be developed because it's a whole nother level. Come from high school to college and college to NFL. So it's a nice mix of everything. But there was no way I stepped on the field day one and I was an instant NFL draft pick. I had to be developed. I had to be coached hard. I had to be toughened up. I had to mature mentally, physically. You go through you name it. I had to do all of it. And, a lot of that to Coach Blake, Coach Cosgrove, Coach Callahan, Coach Solich, and, even just being around Bo Pelini for 1 year as defensive coordinator and just the way he understood defense and effort. All those people need to be recognized just for my development and get me to be even recognized to get drafted at that level.
Jay, we'll let you go. I know you got a football game to get to. Thanks for giving us a few minutes today, bud.
Yep, you got it. Thanks, guys. Yep, you got it.
When spring weather starts to turn ugly, stay connected before, during, and after the storm. You see the worst of the damage, the latest updates, trying to restore power as they happen with Lincoln's KFOR.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? Hi, this is Dr. K with Lincoln Weight Loss, and I know the secret. Our unique weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back naturally, safely, and effectively. If you'd like to lose unhealthy fat without counting points or calories, no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no drugs, no surgery, and no injections with risk of serious side effects, call 402-520-8170.
Hey, it's Schmitty here, and I want to let you in on the secret to how I was able to drop 30 pounds in just 2 months. The secret, Lincoln weight loss. Hope to see you this weekend out and about on Spring Game Saturday, and you'll see for yourself the difference Lincoln weight loss can make.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two. For your free consultation, call 402-520-8170 or online at lincolnweightloss.com. That's lincolnweightloss.com.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
How far can you walk before you want to sit down because of foot, ankle, knee, or low back pain?
I really just wanted to avoid staying on my feet for very long at all.
Do you hate going to work in the morning because you already know you're going to hurt?
If you're just in pain, you're hurting, you tend to get a little distracted from what you're working on.
Come to the Good Feet store today and try it before you buy it.
I hobbled into the Good Feet store. It's been one of the best decisions I ever made. It was an investment in life.
Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief at the Good Feet store. Visit the store at 27th and Pine Lake Road across from South Point Mall or at goodfeet.com.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
We've helped thousands of people live a better life. You deserve comfort in your life. Come into the Good Feet store for a free test walk today.
The Omaha Steaks Spring Sale is the perfect time to get fired up for spring grilling. Head over to omahasteaks.com and save on all your favorites or discover something new. Plus, when you use promo code QUALITY at checkout, you'll get an extra $30 off your order. With 50% site-wide, you're going to want to hurry before the sale ends. Go to omahasteaks.com.
And now, back to Hail Varsity Radio.
Big thanks to Jay Moore. Good stuff. Good comments on do you show up a draft pick, you get made into one. And Jay Moore, hear that whole thing on the podcast, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play with Hail Varsity Radio. Give us a rating. Good, bad, or ugly. We'll take it. Also tell a friend and like and subscribe to the Hail Varsity YouTube channel. Chris Schmidt, Connor Clark, Elijah Herbal is off in Denver getting ready for the Nuggets-Lakers, and he should be, we'll probably see him end up going courtside. He will dirty his way into courtside, but should be lower bowl, pun intended, for all those friends out in Colorado after the weekend.
Yeah.
But good from Jay, good from Coach McBride, and in hour one, David Gustafson, some Husker baseball thoughts. We'll hear more from Matt Rule. Big topic. Yes, the offense. Yes, what Raiola did. How good he and the quarterbacks looked on Saturday. We spent a lot of time on that. But the third down defense, a topic of discussion as well. We'll have plenty of NFL thoughts as well. And that will be for sure this week. As a reminder, we are going to be at the Single Barrel Thursday Roadshow. Hail Varsity out on the road Thursday in Lincoln at the Single Barrel inside the Graduate, 9th and Peace. So come on down, say what's up. We'll be there Saturday morning as well. Pre-game in front of the spring game, 8 to 10 Saturday morning. Make sure you get your seats, get your reservations, get locked in Friday night for the Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. Get there for the Team Jack event. It's going to be awesome. Kenny Bell, Amir Abdullah, and Nate Gary there. So that'll be just fantastic. That gets going around 5:30 at the Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill in La Vista, the La Vista location right next to the folks at Embassy and, again, Costco. So
feels like fall with all these plans we got.
Well, hey, we're not up there Friday, but the event is just incredible. So get your seat. All proceeds go to Team Jack and fighting pediatric brain cancer. So be a part of it if you're up that direction, or just make plans for it Friday night up at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. So Steven chimes in when Elijah comes back. He's supposed to be back for the show tomorrow. Elijah needs a reasonable suspicion test when he returns. We don't have reasonable suspicion tests. At least
we could now.
I guess we could, but we're not going to put him through that. He may stay out in Denver for all we know. But check the podcast and come find us at Single Barrel or get up to Hurrdat this Friday. So, okay, let's hear from Rule. Asked about third downs, and it's maddening, right? You're in the stands, you're losing your mind, you're in a game of consequence against a team you want to beat and you haven't beat for forever. If you're a Nebraska fan,
freezing.
Right? You might be cold, you might be buzzed, based on our Friday. How'd you
all
sneak,
the above?
How'd you sneak in the the old seat warmer,
which could be a good thing or make you more upset.
You could be really frustrated. And we look at Nebraska's third down performance, right? Against Minnesota, 8 of 17 in a 13-10 ball game, specifically the last 3 minutes of that ball game. Maryland was 2 of 9, but they got the one of those 9 conversions on that final drive, that 3rd and 8. Wisconsin 7 of 15. They just wore you out with their little slot guy. Iowa was 8 of 17, 3 field goals and 1 touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a 3rd and short that they got that did you in. Now, to be fair with these percentages here, 42% conversion on third down. Sparty, I thought, was a killer. They weren't, as I go back and look. I think Sparty was 2 for 9.
That game was just frustrating.
It was because they'd hit you with a 20-yarder, a 46-yarder, and then the halfback pass by Alante Brown.
Right.
Yeah. That was not a touchdown. So you give up truly 13 points. But it's just sickening if you give up 10 to 13 points, or they're all field goals, or they're all sudden change field goals for the most part, and you don't win because your offense just couldn't get anything done for you. Sparty was 3 of 14. Forgive me.
Jeez.
1 for 1 on fourth down.
Jeez.
But that game specifically is we're there, and it's just not going your way with the big plays, and then they get a third down at a back-breaking time. You were great all game,
I know,
and you need 2 or 3 more stops. So here is Rule on what needs to happen on third down for this defense to make a jump. It's 4-man rush. It's man coverage.
Okay, so third down defense, to me, if everything's pressure, you're never going to be great. You have to have the ability to rush with 4, and you have to have the ability to third and 3 to 6. You have to be able to play man. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to line up and play man, and you can't have a guy that Wisconsin put Spalding at number 3, or I think it's his name, and he kept winning on option routes. You have to have the ability to play man versus all the bunches and stacks. And then when you get to longer yardage, have the ability to rush 4 and get home. And one of the things in the Big Ten, at least last year, you had Tanner Mordecai, you had all these guys who could get out of the pocket and run, so you have to defend that too. So it's getting great rushers who are also disciplined enough to keep guys in the pocket, the ability to play man, and then still have the pressure package. Like Tony's always going to create chaos. But on 3rd and 7, and if you look back to last year, like halfway through the year, saying we weren't doing great, and then we got ourselves down even lower. We have to make like an 8% jump. I think we're like at 38 in that range. We've got to get down into like the 20s, like the high 20s, to be a dominant defense. I'm more of the, I just want to be great on 3rd and 7+. That's the ones that kill you to me, because then people think they can do it. Like 3rd and 7+ against us, I want to have such an elite pass rush that people just say, you know what, check the ball down, run the ball, don't get a sack fumble. That's the evolution. And then the final thing is just getting people in third down more. We look a lot at the number. I'll also point out to our guys, great defenses. They're in third down 20 sometimes a game. Great offense, bad defenses. They're in it, 10 times a game. So you got to get people to third down. On offense, it's not just a percentage. It's sometimes on offense, people will say we're 50%. Yeah, but you were 11 for 22. You can't be in 22 third downs and win college football. You got to be 4 for 8. So the numbers are good, but defensively, I think those 3 things are the areas that we're really working on. You need a 4-man rush.
You do. You get home with 4. It's You're able to get home with 4 when you have a guy like Gregory or Malik on the interior, or Vincent. Avery Moss was really good off the edge. I mean, that front 4 Nebraska had 10, 11 years ago was nice. Of course, Sue and Crick, big time. Pierre Allen was great as well. But if you just get one game wrecker, the other 3 can eat. You get 2, you're having fun. Coach McBride was talking about the Mad German. That's what I call my dog, Dirty Gertie.
I was going to say, are you talking about Gertie?
No, I mean, Gertie, the German could be great off the edge, but the Mad German, as he was nicknamed, Van den Bosch, was just psycho off the edge. And then you had Steve Warren in the middle. You had Jason Wilds. You had Mike Brown. So you had dudes that, as we fast forward, all heard their name called on day 1 of the draft, or second round or third down.
Correlation.
Third round. We'll wind down a Monday next on Hail Varsity.
Stirring fiber, exercising, frequent trips to the store for more laxatives and fiber. Sounds like your constipation with belly pain is a lot to manage. But if your symptoms that keep coming back are signs of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C, ask your doctor how Linzess can help you get ahead of it. Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LANZESS.
It seems like the cost of everything is going up, so it's nice to save a little dough when you can, especially for something you love to eat every day. Before I go grocery shopping, I print out a coupon for $1 off any Country Hearth, Village Hearth, or Artisan Hearth bread product. My favorite is Dakota Style 12 grain. My wife's breakfast go-to is a toasted Village Hearth English muffin. We can save $1 on each. Go to countryhearthbreads.com/coupons and print 1 or 2 out before your next shopping trip. And don't forget, Country Hearth, Village Hearth, and Artisan Hearth bread products are baked locally and delivered fresh daily.
All Nebraska voters now need a photo ID to vote. So let's bring it. Bring that photo ID with you when you vote in person, or provide it when you vote by mail.
When it's time to vote, let's bring it, Nebraska.
For details, visit voterid.nebraska.gov.
Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief at the Good Feet store. Visit the store for a free test walk at 27th and Pine Lake Road across from South Point Mall near PetSmart, or at goodfeet.com.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
It's happening daily. We're being conned by the institutions we used to trust. The mainstream media is distracting us with meaningless headlines instead of focusing on the harsh realities facing American families. Time is short before something big happens, and that's why so many folks are preparing. They're becoming self-reliant by investing in emergency food storage from My Patriot Supply. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com and secure 4-week emergency food kits for each member of your family. Each kit contains tasty breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, averaging over 2,000 calories per day. Save $50 on each 4-week food kit you purchase. Plus, get free shipping on Ready Hour 4-week emergency food kits. You're not ready if it's not Ready Hour Foods. At My Patriot Supply, you can also get solar power generators, water filtration units, heirloom seeds, and survival.
And now, back to Hail Varsity Radio.
One final time, get the podcast, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play with Hail Varsity. You just subscribe that way. It doesn't cost you anything. Or the Hail Varsity YouTube channel at H Varsity Radio for Twitter. That's Connor Clark at C_Clark_27 at Schmidt_radio. Elijah may or may not be back tomorrow. We're hoping he's back from Colorado. We'll get ready to rock and roll on the show. Bill Bender's Sporting News, NFL Draft Thoughts. Michael Bruntz from Husker 24/7 Sports tomorrow. Mitch Sherman on the show. as well as we gear up for more spring football thoughts. We'll hear about the running backs from Coach Barthel tomorrow, and Satterfield, his take on the quarterbacks. Sure, he'll be asked about. We'll ask about the quarterbacks and how they looked in the scrimmage, kind of laid out from what we were able to gather on how good a day it was for Dealin and company. That's encouraging. That's what you want to hear from a five-star quarterback this soon, although it may be too soon for many five-star quarterbacks, and anxious to see how things roll out Thursday. And I know you're holding your breath, true or false, on Thursday night with the Bears' first pick and ninth pick.
I mean, not really. Ninth pick
holding
is
your breath that
way...
it's gonna work out.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And you should have seen. I'm pretty sure I have a video of it somewhere of me and one of my other buddies is a Bears fan, and everybody else in the room took a video of us reacting to the Bears picking Justin Fields after they traded up in 2021, and that was a big freak out. Not as much drama this time around because everybody knows it's going to be Caleb Williams, but for the love of God, please work out. There have been so many quarterbacks in Bears history, and everybody knows this, that have been disappointing, straight up not good.
Cade McNown.
I mean,
was he with the Bears before you were born? Former Bruin quarterback, maybe. Or was he with the Vikings?
I don't think he was a Bear. But when you're a quarterback, and I say this to everybody who doesn't really understand the pain that the Bears have gone through when it comes to quarterbacks, no disrespect to wherever he is, but when Jay Cutler is your best quarterback statistically of all time, that's when you have a problem. So hopefully this can be the turning point to something new and exciting. And I don't know. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see what they do with the ninth pick as well. Maybe get an outside weapon. Maybe bow up the defense a little bit more. It's going to be an exciting night for Bears fans, I think.
Well, and all you need to know is Arizona cutting bait on Josh Rosen so they could go get another number one pick. They did that, and Murray's been nice for him when he's been healthy.
I never understood the Josh Rosen hype.
Well, he's super talented, but just I think his own team may have code redded him a time or two because they couldn't stand the guy. But what you do have is in the last draft that had 5 of the first 15 picks. This is the year after COVID. This is the 2021 draft. Zach Wilson has moved on. Trey Lance has moved on. Fields absolutely moved on to Pittsburgh. Mac Jones moved on.
That's wild. I didn't really think about that.
So the new norm is if you screw up on your quarterback and he ain't the guy after a couple of years,
get out.
Reshuffle the deck.
I guess.
Reshuffle the deck. Back at you tomorrow at 4 on Hail Varsity, powered by Cornhead Lager. Thanks for tuning in.